Hey everyone, welcome to the Free League update for October 29th, 2020. This is a segment that we're gonna try to do every month, just to kind of give folks an update on everything that's going on with Free League. Free League has grown quite a bit in the last, couple of years, and so they have a lot of projects that are going out and coming in and just all over. So we want to make sure everyone is aware all the things that are out there for Free League, so people don't miss out on all their games and products. I will say that if you are interested in keeping up to date with all the things that are going on at Free League, I'm going to tell you to hit that subscribe button and also hit the little like button down below. And if you hit that little bell notification, it'll let you know every single time we go live or upload new content, and you'll stay up to date with everything that we've got going on here at Free League. And I want to thank everyone for being a part of the community here on YouTube. Also joining me today is the man behind Free League Publishing. It's Tomas Harenstam. Tomas, thank you so much for coming on, and sure. We're going to kind of just talk a little bit about all the things that are available right now. It's been amazing seeing the growth of Free League Publishing, and so I think this is something that we'll probably try to do at least once a month to let folks know that, hey, this is where this project is at. This is where this other one is at, and try to keep the communication lines open.
Yes.
Good. Awesome. All right, I'm going to pull you back, and then I will talk about the first thing. Just announced this week is the virtual tabletop programs for Roll20 and Fantasy Grounds for Alien, the RPG. Both of these are available right now. I'm going to tell folks that if you're interested in any of the things that we're talking about today, feel free to click on the links in the description of this video. Roll20 has and Fantasy Grounds have not only the core book, but Destroyer of Worlds and Chariot of the Gods. So there's a lot of content that is available on Roll20 and Fantasy Grounds. So if you're a user of either of those platforms, make sure to check that out, and you can use the official module for the Alien RPG. I will also mention that Tales from the Loop is available on Roll20, and Symbaroum has a Fantasy Grounds module. So let's Tomas, is this something that Free League wants to do going forward quite a bit with their games, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes, I lost some audio there for a minute, but I think I'm back on. So I assume you're discussing the virtual tabletop platforms, right?
Yes, exactly.
Alien.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, this is something we had been doing for some time, but really in the spring, considering everything that's been happening, it's an area where we really want to focus more on. And we launched, like you said, the Tales from the Loop earlier, and now it was time for Alien, and it's on 2 platforms, not just one. Roll20 and Fantasy Grounds.
Nice.
We're trying to not lock ourselves down to one single platform, because we want to be where the players are. So we try to diversify and launch on as many platforms as we can. So yeah, I mean, we feel it's been growing for some time, and it's really something we want to do for all of our games. Tales and Alien felt like a good start. Symbaroum was available on Fantasy Grounds since even before this, and we'll be moving on to, we're starting work now on Vaesen, I believe, and awesome. A couple of other games also to launch on virtual tabletops. I mean, I should say this is a new territory for us, and it's a different kind of thing. It's the same game, but doing the development work is something we don't have the skills for ourselves. So this is we're working with external partners for all platforms, and that's great. And they're great people, but it can mean that there are some glitches or some things that may not work perfectly from the first time, because this is new territory. So this is something that came up a couple of times. There's a few bugs and small things. Overall, we think it works great, but there are definitely small things, glitches, small bugs that can be improved, and so on. So we're all very happy to get reports on that and to improve those products as we go forward. So and I mean, since these are digital products, it's easy to fix. It's not like a printed book. And this will be something that will be working continuously on to really improve and make them even better as we move deeper into this virtual tabletop territory.
Excellent. Yeah, and with everything that's going on, this is a great way for our the fans of Free League games to get to play, and it's nice that now we have official formats on those platforms.
Yeah.
So the next thing that we're going to address is, of course, that the pre-order for Coriolis, the Last Cyclade, is available for folks that would like to get the next part of the Mercy of the Icons campaign. This book is up for pre-order for $39.99, and then if you would like to get the bundle with the map pack and save yourself a little bit of extra, little bit of funds, once it before it's out, you can also get the map pack and the book for $49.99, and you save yourself about $5. All you have to do is go to Coriolis-RPG.com and place your pre-order. And I believe the PDF. Well, I'm going to bring Tomas back on. Tomas, the PDF for this, I think, is already out to some of the folks that have pre-ordered it already, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. If you pre-order the Last Cyclade, you'll get the PDF within a couple of days. So we send those out in batches manually. So I think Matthias, who's handling this, he does this every couple of days or something like that. So yeah, basically, if you get it, you will. If you order it, you get the full PDF pretty much straight away, and then the physical book should arrive like late November, early December, something like this. And this is really something that's been a long time coming. So I'm super happy to see this finally coming together. I mean, the Coriolis campaign it really started it's over 10 years ago that this was first thought out, and it's been over 2 years since we launched the first part of the campaign, the Emissary Lost. So it's really, the Coriolis fans have been very patient with us, so we're thankful for that. But now we're really kicking this whole thing into gear. I mean, I think some people have been wondering what's going to happen with Coriolis now that we do Alien. It's another sci-fi RPG, so on. Sure. But I think this book proves that Coriolis is very much alive and kicking and will be something, a major focus for us going forward, since Coriolis is also our very own baby and brand and IP. It's not a license, it's our own. So that means it's something that we'll be working on for a very long time to come.
Excellent. Now, the last thing, the next thing that I want to mention to folks is that the Kickstarter for the Labyrinth, the narrative art book from Simon Stollenhag, is ending in a few hours. So if you are interested in picking up a copy of that, feel free to check the Kickstarter out. It's, like I said, it's in the description of this video. There's been a few stretch goals that have been unlocked. The spine has now got a really nice cloth covering that is very reminiscent of the other ones that have been put out. So there's 3 art prints. So if you are thinking of backing that, there's only a few hours left. So please back that while it's available on Kickstarter. And it's so great to see folks admire and appreciate Simon's work. Still, I mean, it just seems like it's growing and growing, and people just can't get enough of Simon's work, Tomas.
Yeah, it's been very nice to finally have another art book from Simon in the works. It's been a couple of years since the last one, The Electric State, and I think this one it's definitely not very much in the same vein, and a very cool story, and of course the art is spectacular. So it's great. We're doing this in cooperation with his US publisher, Skybound Entertainment. So this Kickstarter, we're running it, but it's in partnership with them, and really want to get Simon's work out there. Of course, the book will be available for general retail, but I think if you want to get it before everybody else, and also this special edition, even if you get the standard edition in the Kickstarter, the cloth spine and everything, this is going to be a limited print that is only done for this Kickstarter. It will probably launch in general retail later on, but that could take a number of more months, and it will not have quite the same kind of printing. So this will be a unique artifact. You will only be able to get it right now. You have about 24 hours left to go. Very
nice. Yeah, it's got, I think, 7,300 backers or more. That's a lot of folks.
Something like that.
That's an amazing amount of folks that that want a copy of this book, which is awesome to see, and we always love to see Simon's success there. So let's go to the next thing that we have on the docket, which is, of course, the Free League Publishing Web Store Halloween bundle. This is, if you're a fan of Vaesen and Mörk Borg, you can get both the new releases bundled together at a discounted price. You get the Vaesen, A Wicked Secret, and other mysteries, as well as Mörk Borg Territory, which I have both of them right here. You can get them bundled together and save yourself some money. Plus, you will also, I believe the core books are also on sale at freelypublishing.com. So yeah, these are titles that have been really great sellers for you so far this year, Tomas. And it's so nice to have a sale during the holidays to kind of get more people involved in more books.
And also it's like a little bit of it's a new release also. These two, the bundle that you showed, those two products are new releases. It's Wicked Secret and Other Mysteries for Vaesen and the Territory book for Mörk Borg. Both of those are new releases. I mean, the main games were released early this year. Mörk Borg early in the year, and then Vaesen now in the summer. So they're both new games, and we felt they're very much Halloween compatible games.
Sure.
Also, I mean, Vaesen is obviously a gothic horror game, and Mörk Borg is very much a dark, gritty fantasy game with strong horror elements. So we felt they were very, very, very appropriate to do something along for those games now and release these two modules close to Halloween. And yes, like you said, we're also doing a discount on the base games for both those base games. It's actually the first time that we do any kind of discounting on Vaesen or Mörk Borg. So it's if you haven't already, jumped in to those great, fantastic, strange worlds in those two games, this is a great opportunity, and you can get those modules too. So you have an additional extra amount of stuff to play. And one of them,
I was just going to say, and I have a feeling that this book right here has been flying out of your web store already. So to get it at a discount is even better.
Yep.
Like that's crazy. Let's just say that this Territory zine that they have for Mörk Borg is, if you love the base book, like the actual book, this is ridiculous. Let's just say it's ridiculous. It's got like foil inlays and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, definitely if you've got a copy of Mörk Borg, definitely pick up a copy of Territory, because it's just more content. Love it. Let's go next to the next thing on the docket is, of course, the late pledges are still available for the Free League Tales from the Loop, the board game Kickstarter. This has been out for a little while, but I think the first wave is almost to get the first wave of products that you can get for add-ons is about to close. So if you were considering getting any of that first wave, those first wave items, make sure to get your pledges in and processed. And I just want to remind you, I think that the cutoff date is tomorrow, but Tomas can verify that for me. What exactly is what are the details that folks should know about the Tales from the Loop, the board game late pledge or Kickstarter, the Kickstarter pledge manager?
Right. Yeah. Like you said, we have the pledge manager up and running so you can, if you haven't done that, you can always go in and complete that, get all your address in and everything. And like you said, we have the early shipping of add-ons. Then some add-ons were available in that Kickstarter add-ons of existing games. And if you want to get those, you can do that, but then you'll have to complete the pledge manager by, like you said, I believe this is the end of this month, so that's only a few days away. If you don't do it before then, you'll just get all the add-ons with the full game that will be shipping out. The plan is May of next year. It takes a long time to make board games with these plastic robots and all the cool stuff in them, so it's going to take a bit of more time to get the full game out. So if you're not getting add-ons, you're not in a hurry, but if you want to get that early shipping, you'll need to finish the pledge manager in the next couple of days.
Excellent. And I will remind folks that this is the only way you can get the deluxe copy of this game is through the Kickstarter, correct? Or is that going to have a general release as well?
I believe currently because there is the difference between the two is that the base standard edition you get the miniatures unpainted, and the deluxe version you get them pre-painted.
Right.
So you get them lovely painted, already done by the team. We're working with Dust Studios. We're doing the miniatures, and they are also doing they're doing great stuff, and they will also have pre-painted miniatures. And that version, the deluxe version with the pre-painted miniatures, will probably not, don't quote me on this though, but I believe it's not going to be available in the retail later on. It will, at least it's going to be a limited run. So if you want to be sure to get the pre-painted version of Simon Stollenhag's awesome robots, then this is your chance to get it.
Plus, it's a great way just to get the miniatures for the RPG as well. So there's multiple uses that you could use for the board game for.
Yes.
So, all right. But last but not least, let's talk about the last thing that I have here, which of course is the late pledges for Twilight 2000 are available. So if you did not get a chance to pledge Twilight 2000 while the Kickstarter was live, it is now available on the Pledge Manager. I think it went live yesterday, and we'll bring Tomas back on to talk a little bit more about that. Tomas, the Pledge Manager, I think folks were really kind of chomping at the bit to get this Pledge Manager, and they're really, really excited about this huge successful Kickstarter that you had a few months ago.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have been asking when's the Pledge Manager coming and so on, and so now it's finally up. You can get in there. If you're a backer from the Kickstarter, you can fill in. You can finally pick your add-ons. You can, of course, enter your address and get everything done, get the shipping all covered, and just set everything up. So you can, after you've done that, you can just sit back and relax and wait for the game to arrive. Also, we got a lot of questions right after the Kickstarter from people who just missed it, and this is for them, of course. Now it's possible to make a late pledge. Basically, you get the same things you get as if you were a backer during the actual Kickstarter. I believe the only difference is that if you back the limited edition, the metal box, you will not get an honorable mention in the game because we need to get that covered earlier. So that's going to be for the actual Kickstarter backers who backed it during the Kickstarter. But apart from that, it's the same deal. So if you missed the Kickstarter, now is the perfect time to get in and get the game. And if you do that, we're going to do an alpha PDF of the game, which is we're putting together now. I was working on that right before we started this little broadcast.
Sorry, I interrupted that, Thomas.
Yeah, so now you're delaying the production of the game. No,
everybody can comment below and get after me for that.
Yeah, I was deep into the gear chapter trying to decide how much things should cost and weigh and things like that. So that's what I was doing. And we hope to complete the alpha PDF. It's not going to be the complete game, but almost. It's going to be most of the game, fully laid out, fully done. But of course, we will share this with all the backers, also late backers, so we can get feedback on the game before anything goes to print. And I think this is one of the reasons to do a Kickstarter in the first place, is to create this kind of community. Then that will have a chance to give their input and feedback on the game, which is a really awesome tool, and it's great for us, and I think it's good for the community too. That in the end it will mean a better game for everyone. So even a late backer, you can get in on that as well. So it opened just yesterday, and then there is you'll probably find the link somewhere here in the notes or on our website, or on the Facebook page, and check it out.
It's also a good way for retailers to hop on board as well if they missed it on the Kickstarter. So I just want to remind anybody that there also is a retailer that you can also hop on the pledge managers and back for your stores. So that's pretty much everything that Free League has going on right now. As you can see, there's quite a bit of products. It's like I said, I remember the days when you only had couple 2 or 3 releases going on, Tomas.
Yeah, it's busy now.
Now it's extremely busy, and it's awesome to see. If folks have any questions for Tomas, we'll take about probably 5-10 minutes and answer any questions that you might have. How about that? Let's see here. D asks, will future Alien content get virtual tabletop support at or closer to launch?
Good question. The general answer to that is yes, that's the idea. I mean, ideally, we'll want to release a virtual tabletop version of modules and games pretty much alongside the release of the physical edition. That's really what we'd like to do. We almost made it with Tales from the Loop starter set, which was pretty much simultaneously launched as a virtual tabletop version and a physical version. And we want to do it because we don't want people to choose one or the other, physical or virtual. We think most people will want to do both. Even if they play online, they will probably want the physical book and things as well to use as a reference book, or and sometimes you might go between, you play online and then the next session you actually meet up, and we don't want to create like you have to choose one or the other. So what we're trying to do and going forward is launch them as close to each other as we can, and also offer kind of bundles and things where you can get both at the same time for a reduced price or something like that, so that we really get people on board. And if you haven't done virtual tabletop gaming so much in the past, like me, I haven't done very much in the past, but I'm getting the hang of it. That you can try it, and it's not a huge investment. You can get that along with a physical book. So that's really what we want to do going forward. There are some technical and legal and what like hurdles to get there, but that's the long-term goal, to really give people both and not make them choose one or the other.
Yes. Let's see here. Studio 101 asks, any chance for a tabletop RPG based on the Labyrinth?
Well, you never know. I mean, it's not impossible. I guess I'll leave it at that. Right. This is not announced. This is kind of I'm not announcing it now either, but we are, I can at least say that, we are discussing a tabletop RPG based on the Electric State. That's somewhere in the works. So that's, even though it's very early. So yes, Labyrinth maybe, but if we move along those lines, I would, the Electric State is further along, obviously. So we'll probably do that first. So nothing about the Labyrinth in terms of role playing just yet. But
I'm gonna tell folks,
possible. Yes.
If you're excited about the possibility of an Electric State RPG, hit that like button down below and make sure you let us know in the comments that you're excited for it, because I know that just hearing that just now is very exciting for me. So that's awesome. Let's see. Graham asks, hi, was wondering if there will be a virtual tabletop release for Vaesen and Forbidden Lands in the near future.
Yes, I guess is the short answer. Near future depends on what you define as near, but as soon as possible, basically. I was just yesterday talking to the developers. We have one team doing Fantasy Grounds. They're moving on to Vaesen next, so and they have already started Forbidden Lands earlier. But for a couple of different reasons, we decided to do Vaesen first. Since it's less crunchy, it's faster to do, so we want to get that out there first. Sure. And basically, Roll20 will be pretty much the same thing. I don't know. I don't have a timeline, but we are both of them should come along in the next few months at least. I don't want to get any more specific than that, but it's definitely something we're working on.
Fenhorn asks, will the alpha PDF for Twilight 2000, I'm guessing, contain any stretch goal things?
Good question. That depends on what you mean by stretch goal things. And actually, I would have to kind of check it out myself to see. Because some of the stretch goals obviously are more like physical items. And obviously, the alpha is a PDF. So that's obviously not the physical. Those stretch goals are of course not part of it, but apart from that, I think most of the stuff, I mean, some of the things are not going to be included, like the base building rules and the solo play mode, because we started work on those after they were unlocked. We had some ideas for them before that, but we didn't really do any work on them before they were actually unlocked in the Kickstarter. And that means they're not far along enough to be done for this alpha PDF. We simply need more time to finish them. But some of the things that will, for example, the expanded gear section is definitely going to be there. That thing we called a homeland hack is another stretch goal that we had that kind of gives a bit more information on other areas of the world. If you want to set the game in your own hometown or home country, that will be there. And yeah, possibly some of the scenario locations also. I'll have to, that's actually one thing we haven't quite decided yet, which scenario locations to include in the alpha, if any. I hope we can at least include like one of them at least to show how they look, but that's not 100%, because I think the main focus of the alpha is to get the rules out there, because that's the stuff that needs the most feedback and things. So if we have to prioritize to make it on time, we might cut some of the scenario stuff out of the alpha just to be able to finish it on time. But so not 100%, but we hope to include like maybe one scenario location just to give a taste of it. So a couple of the stretch goals will be in the alpha, but not all of them.
Fenhorn also asked for the Swedish, any news about the campaign book Fort Hindenburg?
Yeah.
And then he follows that up with, and news about Ad Astra.
Right, yeah. Yeah, he knows where we are sort of lagging behind. So he's kind of pushing
calling you out on a few things.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, no, Hindenburg is a Swedish-only product for the moment. So that's if you've never heard of it, there is no wonder, because it's a Swedish-only thing, and we have very few of those. But I believe that's pretty much the only one. And we're working on a campaign book for that. We're progressing, and that's not much in terms of news, I guess. But we hope to have the plan is to launch it, to get it out there before the holidays. It's not a promise we'll actually make it, but I mean, at least you should definitely have like a complete PDF for it or something like that before the holidays. Ad Astra is a bit, that's not only Swedish. Both of them are mutant related, by the way. It's Mutant Hindenburg and Mutant Ad Astra. Mutant Ad Astra is the space expansion for Mutant Year Zero. It's basically mutants going into space. We've done a lot of work on it, but it's been a little bit on the back burner for a number of reasons. It's fairly far along. I don't have a timeline, so there's not much in terms of news. I think one of the key things is that the lead project manager has been deep into other things. It's Martin Takechi who's doing the Tales from the Loop board game, and he's also now working on the One Ring. So we had to move his time around a little bit, so that and I guess Ad Astra has suffered some from it. But it's Ad Astra is definitely coming. We have all of the art done for it, for example. So it's definitely well into production. It's far more than just loose concepts. There's plenty of work done on it, but I can't give you an exact date on when we'll actually launch it. But next year, hopefully.
Michael says he's hoping that Alien is coming to Foundry virtual tabletop.
Yeah, Foundry is something we're looking closely at. It's another virtual tabletop platform that's being very much getting a lot of well-deserved attention lately. It's very good, and we'd like to be on there. There are, and we are talking to them and to developers working with that platform. It's always because we have to to get something on a virtual tabletop platform, we have to first talk to the people who run that platform, obviously, but we also have to find developers who know that platform and know how to work with it, and who can convert our games and modules onto the platform. So you have to get all of those things into place, and that takes some time to get done and get it done right. We're talking to some developers now for Foundry also. So hopefully we can launch something on Foundry. There's already a lot of support for our games, our dice rollers, character sheets, and all kinds of things on Foundry already. But if you want the full games, like the whole thing, then it needs to be an official module that we do, and that takes some more time. At the moment, Foundry doesn't have like a marketplace. Like on Roll20 and Fantasy Grounds, you can go there to the website and you can purchase the module or the game, and then you can play it. That's not how Foundry works yet. As far as I understand, they are planning something along those lines, but it's not there at the moment. There is nothing. They don't have a web shop, basically. There's no, everything on there is you pay for their platform and the use of it, but then all of the content is basically free. And this is something we have to work out on, how to actually publish anything there, because even though we'd like to, we cannot quite give away a game for free. We can give away parts of the game, like, tables, support, character sheets, dice, all of that is fine. It's already there, doesn't cost a thing, and we don't have any problem with that at all. But if we are to release the full game with everything, then we need to find some way, as it works on Roll20 and Fantasy Grounds, to have some kind of web shop function. And that's not quite there yet for Foundry. But it's something we're talking to them, and it's in the next couple of months you could probably see things happening there also.
Kelly asks, any chance of Tales for the Loop on Fantasy Grounds?
Yes, I definitely think so. Right now, I talked to them yesterday, and I think they're moving on to Vaesen next, but Tales from the Loop should definitely be on there as well. So we have a great development team for Fantasy Grounds. They're really, really good. They did Simba Room also earlier, which has been there for over a year. So, and now Alien, and I think it's mostly a matter of managing their time and prioritize which game to do next. And I do think Tales from the Loop should definitely be up there fairly soon as well. Yep.
Cool. Looks like there's a few folks that are very excited that an Electric State RPG is in the works.
No, maybe I said too much now again. Yeah.
Oscar asks, when will another book come out for the Alien RPG? Will there be one?
Yes, absolutely. That's something, when I'm not working on Twilight 2000, I'm working with Andrew Gasca on the Colonial Marines campaign book, which is very far along in terms of, I think he pretty much finished all the text now. And it's him and Paul Elliott who did some work in the core book. He's also done work on this campaign book. So now it's mostly up to me to do all of the editing and get everything done for that. There's a lot of cool art for it. The idea was to release this by the end of this year. It looks a bit too tight. Hopefully the plan is probably to have a pre-order for it soon. So probably in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, nice.
That will be up to pre-order, and then we'll have a PDF version of it that we can send to everyone who pre-ordered. Hopefully we can get that PDF done by the holidays. That's not 100% promise, but that's kind of the goal we're working toward at the moment.
Excellent. Let's see here. We got, I think, one more question. Let's get Red Dual Moon asks, any news on the One Ring? Is the beta coming soon? This is a question we get asked quite a bit, so I figure we might as well bring it up a little bit on this session too.
Yeah, there is no beta coming. I wouldn't say, if you mean by a beta, basically the full complete game in some kind of PDF format. We'll probably do it, but we don't have a timeline for that yet. What we are doing at the moment, the text is pretty much done. It's Francesco Nepitello who's doing the game design and the text. There are some other writers doing setting work and scenario work and so on. Right now, the focus is on the graphic design and the art, because we're doing, obviously, and the second edition was announced by Cubicle 7 over a year ago. This is not that game. That's important to keep in mind. We're not publishing the game that Cubicle 7 was about to publish. This is it's got some, it's still Francesco's ideas and his second edition. But since this change happened, he also made changes to the game itself. So that meant quite a bit of work on his part. And also we're doing a complete imagining of how the game looks. So in terms of art and graphic design, it's completely new, and we're doing that from the ground up. And that, of course, takes time. So the focus right now, I would say, is primarily on art and graphic design. So as far as I know, last I checked in with them, because that's a project that I'm not running personally, but of course I do keep track of it. Right now they're doing its art, graphic design, and the idea is to, I think within the next couple of weeks, definitely to have to show fully laid out pages, spreads of the book, to show how it's going to look in terms of art, graphic design. And once that is done and everyone's happy with that, we can get into actual layout. So as in terms of an alpha or a beta PDF, that kind of depends on whether we do a pre-order or a Kickstarter for it. We will most likely do one or the other. We haven't decided quite which way to go, and that would most likely be early next year. I think right now we're looking at like February, something like that.
Okay.
And after that, once that is done, or at least underway, then we can release an alpha or a beta PDF of the game. So right now that looks like that will happen like in the first half of next year. That's probably the most specific timeline I can give at the moment.
That's right. Very good. No, it just shows that there's a lot of folks that are very excited for that game to come out, and of course, there's a lot of folks that are very excited about all the things that you've got going on at Free League Publishing. I'm going to say, I think that's probably going to do it for this Free League update for October. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I want to thank Tomas for coming on and giving his time. I know he's a very busy man. He can get back to doing his writing for Twilight 2000, so all the backers can stop yelling at me for tying him up for this section. I will remind folks that if you enjoyed this update, please hit the like button down below. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber. We're almost at 3,100 subscribers now, Tomas.
Nice.
That's great. That's great. I'm so excited so much that I really appreciate all this community that has come over and are supporting us over here on YouTube. But really excited to give them more and more content. Again, I'm going to remind folks, anything that we talked about at the top of this show, please check out the links in the description. There's just so much going on. There's some great games coming out from Free League Publishing over these next months and so on. So, all right, that's going to do it. Thank you so much. Be safe and be well. Thank you all for tuning in. We will see you next time.